Hello and welcome back for your daily dose of valuable esports content, where I'm going to cover the LPL games that took place a couple days ago, well, actually yesterday morning on Wednesday, and then preview Saturday's games. The reason why I am doing the sneak peek today is because tomorrow I'm going to do my power rankings video, and I'd rather that just be the only upload instead of uploading the sneak peek. That'll take like 5 minutes to even record. So, recap predictions actually 1-1. First, we have IG RNG. IG win 2-1, and this was nowhere close to being easy for IG. A series where RNG threw games 2 and 3. On 19, 10, and 25, 29% of damage. Tough time. I think I'm going to make him MVP, but I think there's a case for crying as well. YSKM 16-5-16. YSKM probably deserves some credit for game 2 for sure. He had like 10 kills. LWX 8-10-21, 33% of damage in the loss. So game 1 was the one that was close. So at 15-15, it was tied in gold. Although level 1 was massive in favor of Wink and on the Ashe. Both teams were able to get 2 for 2, but Wink in the early game on the support Ashe was super strong. Tianzhen on the Rel, very active in helping IG secure kills. In terms of making things happen, not a lot at 15 minutes. I mean, both teams took a trip bot side. IG said they were going to take both Grubs. RNG took Rift Herald and both Drakes. In the mid game, LWX on the Varus became really strong. Wei on the J4, making things happen, and Tangwan on the Akali really finishing things off. I thought, to be honest, like the top side of the Rift for RNG were pretty solid in this series. Breathe had a 21 CS lead at the end of laning phase in game 1, a 21 CS lead in game 2, and a 40 CS lead in game 3. YSKM struggled in the laning phase, and I mean, game 2, RNG took a trip top, but games 1 and 3, it wasn't really the case. So, in almost in a vacuum, YSKM was getting gapped. I thought Wei on his champions in all 3 games had Tianzhen's number, but as team fights began in games 2 and 3, it went IG's way. So game 2 at under 14 minutes, RNG had a 4.3k gold lead. Very active, Wei on the Xin Zhao, making things happen. Tangwan on the Orianna, getting kills. Breathe on the Udyr, solo killing Crying in the side lane. But when team fights began, and keep in mind, IG took both Drakes in the laning phase. YSKM on the Jax was super strong in team fights along Tianzhen's Vi. They were paired together and making things happen. I thought on the Senna throughout the team fights as the game transpired and went later and later. I believe there might have been a couple elders in this one. On was a big difference maker. Not only tanking shots on the Senna, which you wouldn't probably recommend, but also dealing a significant amount of damage. And YSKM finishing things off on the Jax. I mean, that's why I got to double digits. And I mean, RNG was just overextending. And they did it in game 3 as well. Going in too deep and getting caught out for it and paying the price. There's a situation in game 2 where Breathe on the Udyr is playing screw around in IG's topside jungle. And it's honestly like, what are we doing here? You're throwing away the lead. And it inted hard. Now game 3, now that the inting occurred and we're in a game 3, let's just have a staring contest. And in that staring contest at 1945, roughly, the first turret was taken. RNG had a 2.8k gold lead, 40 CS lead for Breathe, 40 CS lead for Wei. Ming on the Blitzcrank, a menace, just throwing hooks out there. You could call them zoning cues if you want. Kind of funny because he wasn't hitting most of them, but there, honestly, he was taking so many that it's like, okay, a lot of these hooks are missing, but at the same time, he's hitting quite a few of them and securing kills. So Ming on the Blitzcrank getting them ahead, but on the Callista turned things as we went to the mid game, getting some kills on the Callista. Breathe on the Aatrox, playing strong in team fights, and this game was close. However, there was a key team fight around Baron where Cryan on the Azir dealt a ton of damage. He was the leader for IG in that one. And that led directly from a Baron and a Baron power play to securing Soul Point, and it turned the game. And after that, on the Callista just kind of carried things out from there. So it's hard to. I mean, I think you can make a case for either or, because if Cryan doesn't play that team fight as well as he did and deal as much damage as he did, they probably don't win that team fight. So, and then RNG probably take Baron, and then, who knows what happens after that. But at the same time, you could say in game 2, YSKM on the Jax made that same difference, right? And took the game over. So then in the end, it's On, because On was strong in both. It's just unfortunate for RNG throwing series away. Weibo and Top Esports. Top Esports 2-0, 369, 10-10, 31% of damage. A similar situation. I think you can make a case for multiple players being MVP. 369 in game 2 was the most valuable player, turned that game for sure. TN6324, Xiaohu 7710, 27% of damage in the loss. So, why might I make someone else MVP? Well, Jackie Love had 4 2v2 kills in laning phase to start these games off. On the Ezreal in game 1, he had 2 as Light on the Draven was able to get one in response in that same skirmish. But at 14 minutes, Top Esports had a 4.8k gold lead, a lead in all 4 areas, over 20 CS lead for 369, and Jackie Love and Mako. Mako on the Ashe, 100% KP as Top just take over. Cream on the Akali helps run up the score. I think it was like 20-4 in kills when they finally made their final push. Outside of that, I would say Cream probably didn't do all that much. I know some people in Discord felt he was non-existent. I think when your bot lane is playing as strong as it is, and Tien is playing as well as he was, Cream's just playing not to int. And in the end, he had a good KDA, solid damage. He does not need to carry when Jackie Love and Mako are playing the way they are, right? You just don't screw it up, pretty much, in game 1. Now, game 2 at 16 minutes, 1.3k gold lead for Weibo, in part because they were ahead in 3 of the 4 areas. Jackie Love and Mako once again ahead 20 CS over Light and Crisp. Jackie Love on the Sivir, 2v2 kills. Light returned 1 on the Varus. Xiaohu on the Nico, solo kill onto Cream, as well as key roams to get Weibo in a good position. We saw Xiaohao go mid twice. On the Viego, he was really strong in game 2. It was one of those Xiaohao performances that made me remember, yeah, this guy is cracked. This is why he needed this opportunity on Weibo. And mixed results so far, but at the same time, it's really fucking early in the year. I don't know why it irks me, but, we're trying to make, I think it's fine to say a team is playing poorly or this team is playing bad, because you look at it and you say, oh, well, yeah, that team's playing bad. I think that's the truth, right? But to condemn them to purgatory for the year, be like, I don't know how they're going to recover from this. I mean, let's look at the history of League of Legends. We could look at the history of sports in general, but let's just look history of League of Legends. Not always do the great teams have a JDG run or a T1 run or a Gen G run where they just dominate everybody the whole way. I mean, last year, look at the 2023 spring LPL standings at this point. IG were 5-1. Where did IG end up? And then people will be like, oh, yeah, this, that, and the third. And it's like, yeah, so this, that, and the third. These things happen. They happen every year. So, Weibo 3-2, are they condemned to death in terms of not being able to go to Worlds and their season's over? No, they're not. LNG, they're not. I know a lot of people, it's the thing of like, yes, we can say a team plays poorly, but just, exaggerate it and be like, this team's not going to go to Worlds, or, I mean, it's silly. I think it's silly. Just let's at least get to the playoffs of spring, and also let's see how these teams adjust going. The meta's changed so much as well. Weibo had a lead in game 2, and they lost it. They 369's Rumble, by the way, I didn't even mention it. I got off on that tangent. 369 on the Rumble turned the game in a bot side team fight. He dealt 900 DPM in this one, and then just killed everybody with the Rumble thereafter. And it's like, oh, look at his Rumble is actually good. And it's like, oh, wow, this is his fourth Rumble game. Who would have thought that his third or fourth Rumble game would be better than his first one that he pulled out at Worlds in a super high pressure situation? Who would have thought that a guy would play better after a couple games on the champion? I mean, let's be real. Now, sneak peek for tomorrow. Europe. Not tomorrow, damn it, Saturday. SK Team Heretics. SK 5-4, coming off of a loss to Vitality. Team Heretics 4-5, lost to BDS. Last time they played during the regular season, Team Heretics would win. Perks 5-2-7, 40% of damage in the win. Niski 0-2-1, 20% of damage in the loss. After that, we have Giant X and Mad Lions. Giant X 4-5, coming off of a loss to BDS. Mad Lions Koi 5-4, coming off of a loss to Fnatic. When they played during the regular season, Giant X would win. Odoamne 2-11, 28% of damage. Mirwin 6-3-3, 24% of damage in the loss. And some things to note that I should mention to bring back these games. Niski's Gragas mid was in that one, and then Mirwin played, remember the Fiddlesticks game? That was this one. So, I think people remember the Fiddle game. LCS, NRG C9, NRG 4-3, coming off of loss to IMT. Cloud9 3-4, coming off of loss to Team Liquid. When they played day 1, Cloud9 would win. Jojo Pune 4-1-6, 44% of damage. Palafox 1-3-2, 24% in the loss. Immortals Dignitas, Immortals 3-4, beat NRG. Dignitas 2-5, lost to FlyQuest. When they played, Dignitas would win. Tomo 5-7, 33% of damage. Tactical 5-2-2, 27% in the loss. Team Liquid 100 Thieves, both 4-3. TL beat Cloud9. 100 Thieves beat Shopify. When they played, 100 Thieves would win. Quid 5-4, 26% of damage in the win. APA 2-6-3, 34% in the loss. To finish it off, FlyQuest, Shopify. FlyQuest 6-1. They beat Dig. Shopify 2-5. They lost to 100 Thieves. When they played, FlyQuest won. Jensen 4-8, 27% of damage in the win. Insanity, Zach mid 3-5-4, 20% in the loss. So that's it for your daily dose of LOL Esports content. Thank you for watching. Remember, tomorrow the Power Rankings video will come out. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, there was a video about the top minor region rosters. In terms of, hey, let's, kind of remember that these regions are going to represent themselves internationally. These may be the teams that do so. So if you missed that, there are a lot of familiar names on there. And so watch that. Watch tomorrow's Power Rankings. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Become a YouTube member if you want to see my predictions. Join the Discord. We have a lot of fun there, talking about Carmine Corp today. I'm sure we're going to be talking about Mad Lions Koi on Saturday. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you again tomorrow.